Good morning. I want to start the last topic in chapter 12 and talk about some of the mating relationships that form between different animals and plants based upon some of these concepts of sexual selection, kin selection, and just talk about why it's important to form pair bonds or perhaps not, the importance of producing offspring, the importance of passing on your genes, uh, attaining levels of biological fitness. So reproduction is considered to be, in non-humans anyway, the most important event in the life of a non-human animal or plants. That's what they spend most of their life preparing for and then doing. So trying to survive and trying to reach a reproductive age, then having as many offspring as possible. Unisexual organisms, thus, by their very nature, have to seek out another mate, whereas bisexual organisms or hermaphrodites may not. There are some plants that are bisexual. Actually, most plants are. They typically do not pollinate or mate with themselves, but it is possible. Unisexual organisms are primarily animals, and they typically have to find a mating partner. So we're first going to talk about mating or breeding systems in the animal kingdom, non-human, and then we're going to talk about mating systems in plants. So you have perhaps heard male cardinals singing. It's also possible, because at least in the northern cardinal, that females can sing just like males, but males often sing and set up territories, and by their bright red pigmentation in their feathers, they try to show their genetic quality to a female. There are bisexual animals. They often do not mate with themselves. Often one of the sexual organs will mature before the other. So even though they are functionally hermaphrodites or bisexual, they typically try to find another gender to mate with. Most plants are actually bisexual or hermaphrodite, and especially in crop plants, there are at least 2/3 or so of our main crops are pollinated by themselves. That means they self-pollinate when we get to that topic in video 2. So the primary mating systems of non-human animals involve one male and one female, referred to as monogamy, with both parents caring for the young. And at the opposite end of that spectrum is promiscuity, where there is no pair bond, and both male and female can and do mate with multiple partners. And there may be parental care by both sexes, by either the male or female, or by neither. Polygamy is the other type of mating system, and either involves one male mating with many females, and that is called polygyny, with the female being the primary caregiver. Another form of polygamy is when one female mates with multiple male mates, and that is called polyandry. The male often provides the majority of the parental care. So those are the main types of mating systems in the non-human animal world. Birds are often used as, we've used birds in this class as a model for evolution multiple times. Birds exhibit all of the primary mating systems, with most birds being monogamy. And social monogamy is kind of a cultural constraint in which the male and female will mate together once during the breeding season, and is kind of constrained, perhaps by the environment, perhaps by just culture, if you will. So social monogamy is different per se than monogamy for life, where the male and female mate for life. So there's different forms of monogamy, as we will see when we get to that specific slide. Very few birds are polygamous or promiscuous. So let's talk about these 4 types of mating systems. It is often considered that our closest relatives, the chimp and bonobo, are promiscuous, as are hummingbirds. Promiscuity is a type of mating system when there is no pair bond formed. Each gender can have multiple mating partners, and the parental care of offspring can be by either parent or by neither. So promiscuity is kind of considered to be one of the more primitive types of mating systems because of the lack of pair bond. The male and female do not really form a bond. They just mate and have sexual relations just with the attempt of, the goal being to reproduce offspring. Okay. Monogamy is often considered to be a very advanced form of mating system because one male will set up a pair bond with a female. The length of monogamy can vary. It can be for one mating event. It can be for one breeding season. It can be social, or it can be for life. So, the advancement of monogamy is due to the type of young that are usually formed, which are called altricial young, that do require a fair amount of parental care from both parents. You see 2 scarlet macaws, and most parrots in the bird world are monogamous, typically monogamous for life. As I said, social monogamy is when a male and female will partner, but in a social context, either gender may be promiscuous and have extramarital partnerships, if you will. So, social monogamy is when a male and female will pair bond, but if the opportunity presents itself to have a mating outside of this monogamous relationship, they will. This can often be determined by DNA analysis of the eggs in a nest, and in some cases, DNA analysis will show that, say, a nest of 4 eggs of a robin may indicate that there have been 3 different dads that have contributed to the 4 eggs. So we refer to this as extra pair copulations, where a social monogamous partnership has developed, but each gender may be promiscuous and mate with others while maintaining a monogamous partnership with their mate. So this kind of suggests that monogamy has developed in such a way as to be either culturally or environmentally constrained. The picture of the male mallard is to show that waterfowl often form monogamous bonds, but if given the chance, both male and female will mate with other individuals outside of their pair bond arrangement. Polyandry is a rare type of mating system in which a female mates with multiple male partners. It is noted in the honeybee. Some shorebirds, like the sanderling that's in the top right, some crickets and some fish, some amphibians and some mammals. So it's noted in most groups of animals, whether they be vertebrate or invertebrate. The male tends to be the primary caregiver to the offspring in this mating system. The female produces a large cluster of eggs, and males tend to be involved in providing care for those. Polyandry is a type of polygamy where you have multiple mates. The other form of polygamy is polygyny. It's the most common mating strategy in animals where one male mates with multiple female partners. And often you have male-to-male competitions that involve thus intrasexual selection, where the harem of females is passive in their acceptance of the male winner of this competition. So polygamy, multiple mating partners, can either involve one male mating with many females, called polygyny, or polyandry, where one female mates with multiple male partners. That kind of ends this first portion of mating strategies or mating systems, talking about monogamy, polygamy, and promiscuity in the animal world. So in the next video, we'll talk about some very specialized mating strategies in animals, and then talk about mating systems in plants. Goodbye, and I'll talk to you soon.